Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is December the 28th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you had a good Sunday. Hopefully it was a fun day. As for me, it was a bit of a mixed bag, a bit of good, a bit of bad. We can go ahead and get into it. So we can start from Saturday night. One of those situations where I kind of slept a little too much, I guess because I just had the time. I went to sleep early, and then I woke up in like the middle of the night, and I couldn't get back to sleep. And throughout the whole night, my ankle was just flaring up, just a lot of pain. And, so much so that I tried to ice it down. I took some Advil. I'm doing everything I can, and it's just not doing too much. Some hours later, I'm finally able to get back to sleep, and then I wake up at a pretty decent time. I want to say, I think around like 9-ish or so. So I was like, okay, good. Well, we'll take it. Still in a noticeable amount of pain, and I'm concerned because I'm like, this is gonna affect my gym session. I don't like that, and I'm gonna have to walk around all hobbled. I don't like that. Not to mention, for me, seemingly no reason, my stomach was also bothering me. So I was just not in the best state to start the day. But I was like, hey, we're up. Let's, hang out for a quick little bit, and then let's go do some groceries. So that's what we did. Overall, the grocery store went well. Picked up everything, kept it under $100. Love that. Granted $90, but hey, gotta love a little Kroger, quote unquote, Kroger deal. We get the groceries home, and kind of settle for a quick second, then head to the gym. Gym was good. It felt like a classic heavy lifting day, which was nice. No failures or anything like that. Just good movements. So we'll take it. Good weight training in terms of that. Good filler work. Good core work. Good cardio. So, and even with the ankle, my ankle was still bothering me a bit. I didn't go full bore on the treadmill like I wanted to, but overall, I gave it a good go, and, I hit the caloric range that I wanted to hit, so I'm not mad at it. So yeah, we had a good gym session. I come home, and this is where the day takes a turn. I'm getting up out of the car, and my phone, I can feel it slide out of my pocket. And I hear it hit the street, like the concrete. And I was like, ooh, that's not good. I get up and I flip it over and I see the screen and I'm like, well, it looks okay. Looks fine. Looks like we're good. I go upstairs and, I get settled doing my stretches. After my snack, I'm sitting down to, get ready to do my story research, all that. And I look at my phone again and I notice it's cracked. There's spider webs. And, my first concern is my screen is damaged. So that's no good. We're fucked. We're toast. I don't have the money for this. But then I realize and remember, hey, you have your screen protector. It's a generally pretty good one. It probably took the brunt of the damage, and that's what you're looking at here. And so more or less that's what I think has happened. But y'all know the way I'm built, the way my anxiety is set up. I'm like, I want to deal with this right now. Let me try to deal with this as soon as I can. So that's what I'm doing. And I head out to Best Buy. And I kind of knew how this was going to go, as I set off on this misadventure, but I was determined to try. So I go to Best Buy, I go around, I look at all the screen protectors they have. They pretty much only have a bunch of iPhone screen protectors. And then the Samsung ones they have are only for the newest 2 to 3 models. So no S21, my little old shit. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of SOL. I knew at this point I should probably just cut my losses and order the screen protector. I'd have a better shot at that. But I'm like, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll just get lucky. I always get lucky on these kind of things. Let me try. So I go to Target. No luck. I go to Walmart. No luck. And I'm just like, Isaiah, come on. Like, the sun is setting. You're wasting your day. And I more or less cut my losses. I get a TV remote because I needed it for my TV at home. It was like $10. Like, okay, whatever, fine. We'll go ahead and try that out. And I also get this rinky dink, quote unquote, universal screen protector. So that way, if the screen gets any worse in the in between time, maybe I'll try that. But I don't even want to try it because it looks pretty flimsy. Like, it was scratch resistant. Like, yeah, right. If my phone takes another fall, it's probably not going to be good if I try that. So, whereas this screen, it's still holding. It just, it looks shitty because it's got all the cracks in it now. So I'm like, yucky. So I'm like, all right, let's just go ahead, cut our losses, go home. That's what I do, and I order it. So hopefully, in several days, maybe about a week or so, hopefully I get this new screen protector and we'll be good to go, no problems, knock on some wood. But yeah, that was a bit of a bummer, a bit of a detour for my day, and I don't like having to spend extra money that I really don't have, on stuff like this. But so it goes. That's the day. But yeah, we're back home now. We're ready to yap about some news. So let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into it. I will say I lucked out. Like, there really wasn't that much in terms of like post Christmas crowds. I'll take it. Also, the weather was kind of nice. Like, I think it got as hot as warm as the 70s. So yeah, it was weird, but gloomy day in the way that a winter usually is. So there's that. But yeah, so it goes. That's how it's my day, a little bit bittersweet. I'm a bit in my woes. I'm like, this sucks, man. This is definitely not going down as my favorite month of the year. But hey, it's just one of those months that comes with some good and comes with some bad. That's how I'm trying to take it. Oh, I did try a new little snack. I tried these sweetened dried strawberries, and they were very good. I will say they didn't look the most appealing. Like, they looked almost like dates, which would have been fine. I think a date is fine to eat, whatever. But when it's a strawberry and it's all shrunken, and it just looked weird. But it was yummy. It was definitely like a fruit gummy, like given like straight from the source. So I'm definitely going to enjoy eating those. All right, from the BBC, 9 people, including 5 children, stabbed to death in Suriname. 9 people, including 5 children, have been stabbed to death on the outskirts of Suriname's capital, Paramaribo. I'm sure I'm getting that wrong. Police have said. Another adult and child were taken to hospital after sustaining serious injuries in the attack, city police said in a statement. Officers were called to an address on a road leading out of the capital on Saturday night, where they detained a male suspect after shooting him in the leg. He was also taken to hospital for treatment and is under police guard. Local media suggested the man was suffering from mental health issues, citing officials and residents, while the South American nation's president said his family and neighbors were among the victims. At a time when family and friends should be holding on to and supporting each other, we are confronted with the harsh reality that there is another side of the world. Excuse me. Jennifer Geerling Simmons said in a statement, I wish all the bereaved much strength, courage, and comfort during this unimaginably difficult time. So yeah, I mean, there will be, I imagine, more details, coming out in the future. Suriname is among nations with the lowest rates of stabbing deaths, making incidents such as this one relatively rare. And then, however, it has endured several coups and a civil war since gaining its independence from the Netherlands in 1975. All right, moving on to our next story from NBC News. One person killed in midair helicopter crash in New Jersey. At least one of two helicopters was engulfed in flames after both aircraft crash. I'm sorry, I'm running this all backwards. At least one of two helicopters was engulfed in flames after both aircraft crash landed on Sunday morning. Police received calls at 11:25 a.m. Eastern Time about an aviation crash between two helicopters, with both of the aircraft crash landing, according to a spokesperson from Hamilton's municipal government. One of the helicopters was engulfed in flames after the crash, the spokesperson said. The spokesperson confirmed one person was killed in the crash and another was taken to the hospital with critical, life-threatening injuries. Hamilton is in southern New Jersey, about 35 miles southeast of Philadelphia. Let's see. It was a midair collision between an Instrom F-28A helicopter and an Instrom 280C near the Hamilton Municipal Airport, according to the Federal Aviation Administration. Only the pilots were on board each aircraft. And then there is going to be an investigation, which will be led by the NTSB, or the National Transportation Safety Board. So once again, any more details, we'll definitely come back to that. Obviously, condolences in both of these stories to any of the lives lost, any of the families affected. Obviously, it's very sad to lose anybody, go through any kind of trauma, like both of these stories. But, we move. That's all we can do. Even in these times where you're supposed to be as happy as you can be, post Christmas, we're going into a new year, starting a new year and everything like that. It sucks to have to go through and endure loss, but all we can do is keep carrying on, keep moving on. It's all we can do. Anyway, all right, let's move on to our next story. We got a bit of a caper, is what it seems like, from Boston 25 News. $400,000 lobster shipment bound for Costco locations hijacked after departing Massachusetts. A $400,000 load of lobster bound for Costco locations in the Midwest vanished just days before Christmas after being picked up in Taunton, Massachusetts. The Rexing Company's shipment was destined for Costco locations in Minnesota and Illinois when it disappeared, according to Dylan Rexing, the CEO of the Indiana-based freight brokerage. Rexing warned this was the second major seafood theft in Taunton this month, raising concerns about repeat targeting and organized crime. This theft wasn't random. It followed a pattern we're seeing more and more, where criminals impersonate legitimate carriers using spoofed emails and burner phones to hijack high-value freight while it's in transit, Rexing said in a statement. Rexing noted that this recent theft could contribute to driving up prices for consumers, calling it a major blow to his business, which I love this. This is where you turn your pockets inside out and you cry poverty. I'm so poor, I have no money. For a mid-sized brokerage like ours, a $400,000 loss is significant. It forces tough decisions and ultimately drives up costs across the supply chain. Cost consumers ultimately end up paying, Rexing said. Look, I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm not saying that they aren't having to now endure more of a cost in an economic world that's only becoming more and more tumultuous. I get it. But also, to just say, oh, it sucks to do it, but you guys gotta pay us more for your Costco lobster. It's like, yeah, but I think most people, especially the average person who's already going through a lot, they're gonna be like, oh, well, maybe it's imitation crab now. I don't know. Like you just maybe make the sacrifice and you don't buy. So I don't know, man. I guess we're always gonna be broke. No lobster for nobody. I don't know, unless it's a secret cartel. It's taking all the lobster. I don't know. That's it. I really don't have any more details. at least at this time. But I would love if there's going to be some, something that, buoys up here in terms of like, is there really some like secret shadowy ring, stealing seafood? I'm definitely down. I'm down to chase that for 2026 for sure. That might be our white whale, like of a caper. Who knows? Anyway, all right, we have one more story. It is super fucking icky, but like technically, I think we have to like call it quote unquote good news. Like not even that. It's a story. It's a bad, grim, shitty story that ends quote unquote well, and we'll take that. We'll take that in these dark and dismal times. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. I'm seeing a junk ad for 30-day Chai Chi plan for beginners. Man, that sounds pretty interesting. Oh, this is random, but I did peep this story. This is right below the lobster story. I'm giving you a bit of a bonus here. From News Nation, freak accident. Man dies in McDonald's drive-thru. A 69-year-old Nebraska man died after being pinned between his vehicle and a building in a McDonald's drive-thru lane. Grand Island police said in a news release. Obviously not nice. Grand Island police and fire departments dispatched to the restaurant and found a person trapped between the vehicle and the side of the building. The victim was identified as Michael Dickinson of Grand Island, Nebraska, police said. Police said he was the only person inside the vehicle. The incident remains under investigation, but the police chief has called it a freak accident. So I just wanted to go ahead and throw that one on the bobby. Let's get to our main story that I wanted to close out on. Well, maybe not so much the main story, but on the main line, I should say. From NBC News. Father tracks kidnapped daughter using phones, parental controls, authorities say. This felt like a Christmas Liam Neeson Taken story or some shit. The father of a teenage girl who deputies say was kidnapped on Christmas Day found her using his phone's parental controls, according to authorities in Texas. A 15-year-old girl was reported kidnapped from the Houston suburb of Porter on Thursday after her parents said she took her dog out for a walk but did not return, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office said in a news release. Authorities said the girl's father tracked her phone using parental controls, which led him to a secluded, partially wooded area in Harris County, roughly 2 miles from Porter. Her father located her and her dog inside a maroon-colored pickup truck with a partially nude 23-year-old man, the sheriff's office said. The father helped his daughter escape from the truck and contacted law enforcement, the sheriff's office added. Authorities did not name the father or his teenage daughter. The man, Giovanni Rosales Espinoza, was taken into custody without incident and charged with aggravated kidnapping and indecency with a child, the sheriff's office said, alleging he threatened the girl with a knife and abducted her off the street. He remains in Montgomery County Jail at this time with no bond, according to authorities. It was not immediately clear if Espinoza has legal representation. So yeah, obviously a very sad, very grim story that this took place in the first place, but glad that the girl was able to be saved. I'm happy to hear that for the child. Obviously very traumatic. That's not how you want your Christmas fucking day to go at all. Any of your days to go at all. But the silver lining here is that the father was able to do something in that moment, like use the technology, the resources that they had at hand, and find their daughter and save their daughter. I thought that was like very fucking cool. And I don't know, and I hate to like do this thing where you're getting like what, pedantic or anecdotal. I don't know what the word I'm trying to use here, but like in a time where everyone's like, yeah, you know, technology is so bad, da da da, phone so bad, da 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 da. But it's like, hey, technology was pretty useful in this situation. You got to give it credit. You know what I mean? I'm glad that, hey, anything and everything was able to be used, and you know, you had an outcome where someone was saved. You know, there you go. We take that. That's a W. So I mean, hey, if you have kids, you know, hey, maybe don't take those parental controls lightly. I guess I don't know, but hey, I don't have any kids, so not worrying about that. Anyway, that is it. That is all I have for today. That's the episode. No shilling. It's Sunday. I don't like to, you know, do all that on the Lord's Day where you're supposed to rest and just be chilling. And I'm over here yapping. That's enough. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.